Welcome to Getting Down to Business. This is our, fourth year?
Fourth year.
Of the podcast. We were calculating in our offices, like, wow, how far we've come from 2022. But yet, we're excited to see where the future continues to lead us. I'm Jill Brown, academic advisor here at the USF St. Pete campus.
I'm Ashley Curtis, assistant director for the Bishop Center for Ethical Leadership. Jill, like you said, we are on our 4 years. We've had the opportunity to connect with so many different folks. So whether that's Tampa Bay employers, students, faculty, alumni. So it's really excited to be here. It has flown by so quickly since we first kicked off this podcast.
Yeah, and here to celebrate this milestone is Matt Simmental. And he's been reporting and documenting events on the USF St. Pete campus for, we just heard in the teaser, 9 years. And what makes USF St. Pete so unique?
Welcome, Matthew.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me on. Really looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah. Would you share with our listeners about yourself, your role at St. Pete, and what you did prior to USF?
I am currently Director of Communications and Marketing, which, as a lot of people, I think, in their roles, I wear many different hats, which is nice. Every day is very different depending on what I'm being asked to work on, what emergencies coming up, what critical deadline has to be met. But I love it here. It's a beautiful campus, great community. So my role is basically to cover what is going on campus. What's the news? What are the big announcements? What is it that we think our key audiences want to know about the campus? So those range anywhere from student profiles to cool research that's taking place here, new initiatives and partnerships with the community, fundraising. It kind of ranges the gamut there. Prior to this, so I've always been in communications. I went to school for history and then journalism. Yeah. And I was more into, at that time, environmental and nature organizations. So I used to work for a bird conservation organization in the Appalachians, doing communications work.
Yeah.
And then prior to that, my first job was actually across the street from where the campus at the U.S. Geological Survey, doing science communications for that organization.
You know what's in the secret building there next to our campus?
The Studebaker building. Yes, I do. They used to build old Studebakers there. They still have the symbol on the gate.
Yeah.
But now it's a federal science agency that focuses on coastal marine science issues.
And for those that have wandered through the campus, you know what you're talking about. You're going to pass the building as you go to Osprey, our newest residence hall. Yeah. So anyway, and it's between our College of Business.
Beautiful brick building. Yeah.
Yeah, we see it all the time.
Very old history there.
Awesome.
I've always wondered. Now I know.
All right. Well, we're going to ask a quick few rapid fire questions because we felt like, oh gosh, you've been around and you've seen so much of the campus. So we thought it might be fun to share with our students some of this. So we're going to ask a few quick questions. What's your favorite place to grab some food on campus?
The tavern.
Okay.
Can I ask, what is your favorite order at the tavern?
Ooh, so, I mean, the grouper sandwich, which is probably what everyone says. I also love the social chair.
That's my
buffalo chicken. Yeah. It has that. It's really good.
Yeah. It's great. It's got a lot of variety. We'll just let you know.
Yeah. How about, Matt, your favorite downtown St. Pete restaurant?
Ooh, that's a good one. So, yeah, Red Mesa Cantina. I love the vibe of it. It's very consistent. I like that.
It's always good. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's back to me. Favorite spot on campus to take a break?
The beach area, the little beach and the Adirondack chairs like around the water there. Yeah. I'll sometimes bring my lunch out there and decompress for 15, 20 minutes. I really want to
steal a hammock from a student sometimes when they're sitting right there by the beach.
Or you just bring your own hammock.
I
Put it up there.
Till I have one, I'll bring it for you.
Okay, I have one in the car. What am I talking about? All right, keep going. Let's keep going.
Matt, favorite spot downtown St. Pete?
So I love the waterfront parks. I'm actually outside of work. I'm a board member for the Waterfront Parks Foundation.
Oh, nice.
So I think the thing that's probably most unique about St. Pete when you compare it to any other city is that the whole waterfront is public access area. It's
Yeah.
green spaces. And so those parks are just such a gem and to utilize. And speaking of hammocks, putting up hammocks there, and I will walk through them, run through them, throw frisbees with friends there. So I love hanging out in those parks on the water.
Very nice.
It took a move to Florida to know what 2 palm trees meant, and that is to put your hammock right in between.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Are you an ultimate frisbee person?
No, in my 20s, I played a couple times, but I realized my throwing wasn't consistent enough
Fair.
to where I felt comfortable being on a team with people who were really good at that.
It's a lot for
Yeah.
sure.
You mentioned a gem, and we're curious what you think is a hidden gem on the campus here in St. Pete.
Ooh, a hidden gem on the campus. I love the Williams and Snell houses. So
Okay.
the
Yeah,
historic
yeah.
homes,
Yeah.
they aren't, near the center of campus. So I think a lot of students and people maybe not see them, but they're really just cool buildings
They
to
are.
explore. The stories behind them, they literally lifted these houses from their original foundations and moved them to campus in the 1990s.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so just that history of them moving these houses and that the campus helps to take care of them and preserve them to where they are two of the oldest structures in St. Pete today.
And then our honors classes are held in which one?
I always
Snell
forget
House.
this too.
It's
I
the
think
sa-
it's Snell House.
Sorry,
Yeah, is
we'll get that
honors
correct.
colleges in Snell.
Yeah.
And then other departments, I think history and whatnot, use Williams.
Yeah.
My team has used it for like brainstorming meetings because they have kind of cool conference room areas. But yeah, really cool architecture, just unique places.
That's when I wandered in. I was looking for the advisor for the honors. I was like, oh my gosh, this building is amazing. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
Last
very
pressure
cool.
question here.
These are tough ones. That
Yeah.
really make me think.
Right. Cool activity that you can do only in St. Pete.
Wow, I didn't know we added the only.
Yeah.
I know.
So only in the city or on our campus?
It could-
Whichever you prefer.
Yeah.
Apparently we made this one a hard one.
We did.
I'd say for the campus is being able to check out a paddleboard
Yeah.
and cruise around the harbor and out into the bay right here. And it comes with, if you're a student, you can do that, from day one. If you're staff faculty, I think if you have a campus rec membership, you're able to just check out a kayak or paddleboard and just take a break. When I first started, I used to during my lunch break would just take out a paddleboard and just go out and then come
nice.
back and then spend the rest of the day working.
Yeah.
Don't do that as much anymore. Wish I did.
Probably a little stressed.
It gets
Yeah.
harder.
It does. It does.
Pro tip, if you do that, because I took a group of students out there once and we got too close to the Coast Guard.
Mm.
And so they started pushing us back. It was maybe one of the most intimidating things. I was
Did
like,
they
yeah, they stand
shoot us,
out there.
have a siren or blow a horn?
No siren, but they
Oh, gosh.
came out in a fleet of them and they were like, you need to go back.
Okay.
And
Very-
I was
very
like,
intimidating.
we need to turn
Yeah,
around.
so if you didn't know, the Coast Guard's right outside of our campus as well. And the airport. I mean, we've got a lot of unique
A lot of things
features.
going on. I thought your pro tip was going to be check the weather report because I thought you got a thunderstorm came or
That-
I
something.
will
that's
say
true.
check the weather.
Yeah.
Check the wind speed.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Paddling, stand-up
Yeah.
paddle with over 10 is rough.
You're just a
Okay.
sail.
A human sail. Aw. Well, thanks for playing. That was fun, and I like our rapid fire. We want to get down to business, and it's more questions, really. But what, in your experience, your time on our campus, what do you think makes USF St. Pete so unique?
Yeah, it's funny you ask because I think about this all the time. It's sort of a part of my job is to highlight that distinct nature of this campus for a variety of reasons. I keep coming back to the culture and how it's very close knit. To me, it's a small town in a big city, and you
like
walk outside the campus and you're in this big downtown that's thriving, it's dynamic, there's so much going on, so much construction. but the campus itself, you walk around, you start, and you know everyone, and there's just this cool vibe to it that doesn't feel like a big city, but we have access to all the resources of the big city. But it's this little small town with a lot of unique, interesting people doing cool things, cool research, but also people who want to see others succeed. And I've always just been drawn. I think it's why I've been here for so long, because I just think this is such a unique, cool community that I've never really experienced anywhere else.
Yeah.
There is an energy and a vibrancy for sure. And I think we just walk from LPH to the grind, and we come across, I think, like 5 people. We'll see you on our walks, right? And it's so
Everybody's
nice.
like, hey.
Yeah.
It's like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Hey, neighbor.
Yeah. And and there's always events going on. And when I go, I know later today is the undergraduate research conference. I know I'll go there and I will have 20 or 30 different conversations with 20 or 30 people that I've just known over the years who work here. And I think they probably feel the same, is why, there's so many people who come here and stay for a number of years, and faculty and staff, because of that.
Yeah. So Matt, speaking of events, right, there's a ton of events that are constantly happening on this campus. What would you say are some of the signature events that students, faculty, staff shouldn't miss?
Yeah. So, I mentioned the undergraduate research conference. That's been going on for a number of years, and it's great because one of the things I know this campus prides itself is giving students hands-on learning opportunities, including direct research opportunities, especially as undergrads. Years ago, that was kind of unheard of. If you were going to do direct research, you need to be a graduate student. And that's not the case anymore, especially not the case here.
Yeah.
And so this conference is basically a big ballroom full of students showcasing the research they've been doing all semester or academic year long, and they get great experience presenting their posters in front of people, public speaking. So it's a really cool event to see all the different types of research that students are involved in. Sometimes this is with faculty, so they're helping faculty do kind of big research projects, which is a really cool experience for an undergrad student to do.
Yeah.
And then as we're also in the commencement season, drawing pretty close, 2 events that come to mind is late night breakfast.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe I will be scooping potatoes onto students' plates this time around. But it is a tradition where, to help students as they cram midnight, study sessions as leading into finals, we serve breakfast at near midnight for these students. I've been a number of times, and it's really, speaking of energy, is just seeing the students line up, hundreds of them, waiting to get into the ballroom for food. And then there's trivia. Rocky's usually there. It's just a cool environment experience. And then celebration, which is a newer tradition, but and maybe this could go back to your question of what's really unique. We do a sunset cruise for our graduates. I mean, that,
come on.
I don't think many other campuses are probably doing that. And that, we rent out a kind of a cruise ship as one of the sunset cruise ships for 3 hours, and go out into the bay, and there's bingo and karaoke and food and dancing. So all those, and they lead into commencement. And so those are just a couple around this time of year that really stand out to me.
Those are some of my favorites.
Yeah. What about some, I know I was going to say, what's your favorite, but how about some community events too?
Yeah. So we'll stay with the recent thing. Maybe my favorite community event just happened, which was last week. It was our Bowls and Brews by the Bay. So this is our annual fundraiser. 3rd year we've done it. And basically the idea, maybe the origin of this event was, how can we raise money for student scholarships, as well as maybe figure out an event that people want to go to? And so we kind of thought, well, the Brewing Arts program is this really popular program. people like beer. How can we kind of, mesh all these things together? And so this Bulls and Brews by the Bay was pretty much came out of that. And it's a great community event. It brings alumni back to campus, donors, our faculty and staff are involved, university friends. We get 5 or 6 of the local breweries, all who have connections to the Brewing Arts program, to have beer there. A ton of food. There are games, and we're still tallying the numbers of money raised. But I do know in the 3 years that fundraiser has taken place, we've raised well over $100,000
Wow.
for student scholarships. So it's this fun event, but it's for a great cause.
Yeah.
So that's just another plug, a reminder for students, apply for scholarships.
Yep.
There are different applications and protocols, but I mean, year round, don't forget, just because you maybe have a Right Futures or Florida Prepay, anything, you still have opportunities with scholarships, and not even your first semester in, it could be the second year or third year, and help supplement things.
So true, Jill.
Yeah. So
And then
cool.
and then maybe I will add the St. Pete Science Fest is a really cool event we do. I think it's the largest event we host every year. We get about 10,000 people
It's
on campus.
pretty big.
Yeah.
And really, that is, what is the purpose of a university? If I'm going to get philosophical here, is to educate, right? And to introduce people to new subjects, new ideas, and that having an impact on maybe what they go to learn, maybe on their career path.
Yeah.
And the Science Festival does that for a lot of kids at a really young age. And it brings so many community organizations to campus who highlight what they do in the fields of science, engineering, environment, math. It also incorporates art. And we get, again, so many families, so many kids, again, about 10,000 attend every year. And it's been going on for well over a decade.
And what I love about that is we're fostering at a young age curiosity, right? And so, I mean, the hope is that we're starting at this young age so that as these next generations come up, they become curious, and we're building generations who go into STEM and all of these different fields that they're excited about.
Yeah. And you can see it in the kids that come out, and they're a lot of the exhibits are very interactive.
Yes.
Keeps their attention. There are drones, there are robots. I'm sure there are AI things that I don't know about. And yeah, it definitely leaves an impact on them. And I guarantee you many of these kids keep coming back year after year.
Yeah, and we have vendors and representatives from across the state, isn't it? It's not even just, So
yeah, I think in a couple of years, NASA has come out, and
always popular.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with Artemis. The fact that you could see Artemis from our 4th floor of the College of Business.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Anyway, side story. All right.
Matt, I think one of the cool things that you have been doing in your role is student spotlights.
Yeah.
And really highlighting some of the excellent work that our students are doing. And so just curious if you can expand a little bit more on what that looks like, and then maybe share some of your favorite interviews.
Sure. So a really great part of my job is I tend to be in the know of most things going on across campus. People email me about events, email me about potential story ideas, email me about bad news. Basically, I'm in the know because I am the person who's either helping to write the stories, or our team is working to promote the events, or I'm developing talking points for, say, leadership on things. So it's great because I hear about these fantastic stories, a lot coming from students that we are able to write news about, that we're able to profile, that we're able to put up stories on our website, on social media that gets reactions. And for many of these students, it's the first time, anything's been written about them. So they're extremely grateful, excited to have some attention in some cool work that they're doing. again, just because it's on my brain right now. So during commencement, we tend to write about 2 commencement profiles of students about to graduate. And so we're starting to work with those now. The 2 this semester, great stories. One, her name's Madison Heme. She is the captain of our sailing team.
Oh, well.
But
Ooh.
when she came to USF St. Pete, she never knew how to sail. She's never sailed
What?
before. She's from Colorado.
She's the captain.
And so it's such a great story
Yeah.
about this student who's never sailed before and then ends up being one of the strongest sailors on the team and captain of the sailing team, which is USF Women's has a nationally ranked, it's
Yeah.
usually one of
Yes.
the top 25 programs in the country.
It's
So it's
always
just
been a trivia question, so keep that in mind, listeners.
very, very, very impressive team. The
Yeah.
coach is an Olympic winner
Right,
too,
right.
Olympic medalist. And then the other story, Oliver has done a ton for this campus in terms of sustainability. In fact, we recently completed a beach renourishment project.
Is that our
Yes.
student? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I know
Yeah.
Oliver. Okay.
And he pretty much spearheaded that endeavor. And he has done a lot for sustainability on this campus, and just someone who's taken the initiative, had
Mhm.
passion for this. And so it's just great to see a student like that kind of just blossom here,
Yeah.
you know, like,
That's such a great word, blossom.
yeah, like find a passion,
Yep.
find initiative to pursue something, saying, hey, this beach kind of doesn't look great. We had a lot of issues with the flooding and the hurricanes,
Yeah.
which caused a lot of erosion there. What can I do about it? And he kind of just went with it, and then the result was it's almost a living shoreline now. It's great.
Thank you, Oliver. Thank
Yeah.
you, Madison. Thank you both.
Well, and I think this just goes to Jill and I always
Mm.
talk about this, but the importance of getting involved as a student on campus, right? And I know Oliver from his time with ethics and debate as his advisor, and regardless of what you're doing, I think getting involved can start somewhere, and that might take you other places. But being involved can really help you figure out, where do you want to go and what do you want to do in the community, and helping you find your passion and building those leadership skills, right? I think of, as you're talking about Madison, right? No experience, but choosing to get involved in something that ultimately becoming the captain of the sailing team is giving her those leadership skills that she can apply wherever she goes.
I kind of like the analogy of, like, you dipping your toe in the pool, right?
Yep.
Like getting involved, taking the first step, right? Of
Mhm.
showing up to the first club meeting of something, trying out for a team, going to a community event. Maybe it's the Saturday morning market, something like that. It's just getting exposed to something completely new, which to me, as much as college is about the classroom and the academics, it's also about that other aspect as much. And I think the students who really, going back to that term, blossoming,
Yeah.
I think it's students who are doing both those at a really high level. They're really striving and thriving in classrooms, but they're also really using their time to get involved, to meet people, to take part in the community on campus and off campus, because it gives them all these different experiences that they wouldn't even think about, wouldn't know they were even possible. But it's that first step. There's a great Buddhist saying, or Taoist saying, is like, every great journey starts with one small step.
Mm.
And I think that's a lot for in college. I mean, I think it's just one small step after another that students take to really get to the point where they've had an extremely fulfilling college experience.
There's so
Well
much.
said.
Yeah, there's so much in that.
I didn't think I'd bring a Taoist saying into this interview.
Oh, but this is so great, and I love this being that fourth year and bringing in some of these stories, and then really reflecting on St. Pete, our campus, USF, what we bring to just the staff, the faculty, the students, the community. Just, I feel like we're coming full circle with it, and thank you for being on the set and sharing. I wanted to kind of highlight what you were saying for students to take such risks. I mean, to try out sailing when you've never done it, I can barely paddle, much less anyway. I know some of that, and I'm learning boating anyway, and I know what goes into a little bit of that, and it's like, wow, there's so much. But thinking about our campus being a safe space that allows students to take risks and support students to do these types of activities and things. So I feel like that's a unique piece that I hope students feel. And we try to strive with this podcast, every day to say, reach out, connect with us, connect with a faculty, a staff. It doesn't matter, but we're all here to help you succeed, which is what you were talking about too. So
Yeah, I think this is an extremely supportive community
mhm.
who, again, wants people to succeed.
Yeah.
Come here and see them do their best, and to really, um, one of our former regional chancellors, Martin Tadlock,
Mm.
he had a great saying of, a purpose of college is to transform lives.
Yes.
Someone comes here maybe not knowing what their passion is, no idea what they want to do, or even what they're capable of doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And in these years where they're able to live
Mhm.
away from home, get exposed to new things, new ideas, new people, it's a transforming ground. And really the purpose of college is to transform lives to where then they are ready to lead their own lives. And I've always thought that's what's beautiful about higher education in general.
Mhm.
And I think this campus really kind of lives up to that.
So many times I feel like we get into the nitty gritty of our jobs and we forget some of these pieces until we talk to great guests like you.
Yeah.
Because some of the guests we've had on, when they talk about the innovative entrepreneurial aspects, the different programs that they can apply to, try out for, get involved with. I mean, so many. But I just think about so many of our students that have evolved just from whether they worked in our office on campus, they attend a networking event, and then where does that take them? They do an internship with a company, and then boom, and we get to see their growth. So cool stuff. I'll quit rambling on
No.
about now. I feel so,
You're
what's the
reminding
word?
me that I love what we do here.
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
really nice to get and sit
Yeah.
and talk with guests.
I had a different question, but I feel like we've kind of covered some of that. So I'll just ask Matt if there's anything else you maybe want to share with our guests or listeners about USF St. Pete, why it's unique, events. I can't wait to read the new spotlight stories that'll be coming out soon. Yeah.
Maybe I'll talk a little bit about more of communications and marketing in higher education.
Sure.
One of the aspects I love about my job is every day is different.
Yeah.
And might be working on a news story. I might be coordinating with a journalist. I might be writing talking points for executive leaders, overseeing a website redesign, all these different things. And what's great is you get to work with really creative people who are trying to figure out what's the best way to promote a program, what's the best way to engage students on social media, what's the best way of designing a site so it's easily you can navigate it easily, usability, displays great. Myself and the team that I'm lucky to manage, it's about 8 or 9 people. We're constantly just thinking of these things. And in the higher education space, what's great about that is that then you get to work on cool research projects with the faculty members, uplifting stories of students, the impact this campus is having on the broader community.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a really fulfilling job. And I think this campus is just, going back I always think of like the 30,000 foot view, or get a little philosophical, is that you work at a place that's very purpose driven, that really changes lives and really has a broad impact on the city you live in and you inhabit. And so I think that's always something I've always tried not to take for granted, because I think it's a really valuable thing.
Yeah.
Matt, I'm curious, at the start of our conversation, you mentioned in some of the work that you do, it's very deadline driven. And as I think about, obviously, a lot of our listeners are students who are listening to this show. Any skills that you have around, because I always think students, one of the major skills that there's room for growth is time management and meeting those deadlines. Anything that you utilize yourself as you think about how do you actually prioritize deadlines to make sure that you're meeting them?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's really a vital skill set to that you develop over time, I think,
Yeah.
as well. I'm a big list person, so I am constantly writing. I have various lists. So on Friday, for example, I write down my next week lists
Mm.
and divide it up per day of here are the things I need to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Usually by Tuesday, everything has changed on to where I have to update the list a bit.
Yeah.
But that really helps me keep on track of here are the key things I know I need to get done because, say, there's a chancellor briefing that's we're getting out on Friday, so I have to help work on that during the week. There's a campus board meeting that I'm helping write the script to in certain ways. There's a press release we wanted to get out on this Tuesday, and so that just helps me stay on track by knowing here are the things that are coming up next week that I need to devote time to. And it's the same with the team, right? I know they have certain things, and so it's me kind of just making sure I'm checking in, see where we're at with that, if they need any assistance from me. Um, and then other times it's deadlines. I view deadlines as there are deadlines that are imposed on you and deadlines you impose on yourself.
Mhm.
And so sometimes if it's our regional chancellor saying, "Hey, I need this by then," well, then everything else sort of, in terms of how I prioritize, is well, there's the priority.
Yeah.
is my
Yeah.
boss is telling
Yeah.
me this is the priority. So that's makes it a bit easier. But I think as you develop in your career, whatever career that is, you start having your own expectations for yourself, and you develop your own deadlines for yourself of what you think you should be doing. And so I think there are many ways you can help with kind of navigating and ordering, lists or whatever. But I think you, as you grow in your career and your job, you start realizing how valuable time management is to ensuring you're meeting these various deadlines.
And
Well said.
I think there's a shift from high school and even from other colleges when students come to USF for the first time, because they may have been able to get away with some things in the past. And then all of a sudden, like you said, you've got to figure out what deadlines are being required of me academically, but also what do I need to do? And getting out there and exposing yourself to different events, clubs, organizations where there are things and activities that you're going to do as a part of that club. Now you have to juggle that plus a job typically and the work. And I think about, gosh, yeah, how I've changed and grown too. And it's hard sometimes for students to transition from a classroom where you're being told, and here are your deadlines, here's a matrix, here's all this, to then you're out on a job and maybe you have a hands-off boss. It's like, hey, just, you figure it out, you get it done. And so that's a challenge in and of itself. And learning that earlier on in your career is really kind of nice as a part of your academics. So,
Well, and that comes to different leadership styles too, right? And Matt, as I'm hearing about how you're working with your team, checking in with them, right? I think of how does that show up in the types of leadership style that you're using?
Yeah, and leadership style, I would go back to, it's also something you kind of cultivate and you develop as you learn. Sometimes it's based off bad experiences you've had with prior leaders. I had a boss, not here, at a different job, who was pretty much a very micromanager, and I realized I did not like that whatsoever. And so as I've grown and developed and gotten into a leadership position, I ensure I am not doing that at all. And I really have faith and confidence in my team to do the work that they know needs to get done, but to check back with me on deadlines every once in a while, to come to me if they need help with resources or with a better understanding of a project or, a number of other things. But I would say my leadership style is I'm fairly hands off, but also know when to get involved if need be for any additional capacity or support.
Were you going to say something else, though? I thought you were going to respond when I was talking about learning and growing and figuring out deadlines and things like that.
Oh, yeah. What was I going to say? I think this goes back to as you grow, you kind of want to impose certain deadlines on yourself that aren't imposed by someone else. So, for example, if you start a job and the boss is very hands off, right, and maybe not giving you enough direction or whatnot, you hopefully you're able to figure out certain things of what the job is, what's needed, and then showing initiative to impose certain deadlines on yourself. Like, I could, this project, I could easily work on it for 3 weeks, or I could, maybe it just needs a week of work to get on and then move on to the next thing. And that's something you kind of guess, test, and revise with certain things. And as you learn, you start to understand better, and I'll go back to communication and marketing. When I'm writing a story, right? Like early on, it probably took me a long time to write a story, interview people, get all the facts, and then actually write it. And now I've just been doing it so long that if I needed to turn something around in 2 days, I could probably do it. As long as I do, have the time to do it. And that's with, as you sharpen your skills, as you get more comfortable, as you're just used to something, and it goes back to time management, right? So now I can say, okay, I have this story that has to get published on Thursday. It's Monday. I know I'm not going to panic. I'll have time, even if I haven't started it yet.
Matt, thank you so much. It has been, first, congratulations on coming up on 9 years. I will say the campus is so lucky to have you in your role and capacity. You are just so much energy and such a wealth of knowledge. It has been a pleasure to have you on set with us today. So thank you. Thank you to our folks at Innovative Ed for making this episode possible. And we will see you next time on another episode of Getting Down to Business.